Hello and welcome to your next tutorial, your tech tutorial that is, on Google Slides. Today in this tech tutorial we are going to be going over the Thrive objectives for your Google Slides lesson. So if you're watching this video, it is because you've already completed all of the Survive objectives. You already have a slideshow with a theme selected. There are 5 slides. Those slides have been customized. Okay, if you have not done those things, then you are not to be watching this video quite yet. So please go back and finish that stuff first so this actually makes sense. So those of you who are listening and ready to go on this, let's take a look at our Google slide show that we've created here, our presentation. Here I've got mine that I kind of just threw together very quickly that has really no facts on it whatsoever. Yours will be far better than mine, but I have created a theme. I've got my 5 slides, 3 of them are facts and 1 of them is a review slide. So what we're going to do today is kind of go over these objectives, okay? Everything except for the last one. We're going to talk about how to add shapes to your slides, make them look a little bit nicer. We're going to talk about how to add pictures to the fact and the title slides, and then we're also going to be talking about having transitions to the slides, which makes your presentation look a little nicer, look a little cooler, okay? So let's get started, I guess. We are going to start first by taking a look at this theme. This theme is kind of very plain and boring. We've got just this one little aqua box that's down here, and then all my other slides really basically have nothing to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some stuff to it. So I'm going to say Insert, and I'm going to go over here to Shape. And there's lots of cool shapes that you can put in here with this, okay? Now, we don't want to go crazy overboard with this, okay? We don't want to make this look kind of too busy and kind of tacky. We still kind of want this to look somewhat professional, so we're going to add some shapes in there. We've got some arrows we could do, some callouts. So I like the callouts because they have a star in there, so a star is kind of a cool thing to add in. And then there's some other things to do. So if you want to put some of these kind of cooler looking shapes in there, you most definitely can. Just not go like super crazy overboard. So I'm going to start with just kind of going simple. I'm going to draw some stars in here. Okay, I'm going to put a star, and this is what I would recommend for you if you're going to use a shape. Okay, if you want to just put a shape on one side, that's fine. If you want to kind of balance them or even them out, I'll show you how to do that as well. But basically what you're going to do, you have a lot of different things. Like take a look at this. This is kind of cool. So this little yellow thing there, I can actually make my star look really kind of different and kind of cool, I think, there, which actually I don't really like how that looks. But play around with some of the different things. So this is about the size that I want, and I think I'm going to kind of put it up here about there. And what I want to do is I want to stick close to my theme and my colors that I have already. So I'm probably going to make this star the exact same color as this. So I'm going to use the paint can to say fill color, and you can look down here in the theme and it gives you that's the exact same color here. So those kind of match, I guess. I can change the outline of this star if I want to, and I can also change the color of that if I want to as well. If I want to make this a little bit darker, make it kind of stand out a little bit more. Okay. Now, if I want to just put one shape, that's fine. But if I want to put another shape over here, instead of saying Insert Shape and then trying to guess at the size, the best thing to do is actually keep the one that you have, right-click on it, say Copy, and then right-click out here, whoops, and then just right-click and say Paste. And then what happens is you get another one that's exactly the same size. And then I can take this over here and look at this. Do you see that little red line? Remember we talked about how that centers it? If I keep that red line, it'll actually keep this so it's centered on the other one as well. Okay? And it'll even come up with another line. So that way I've got this nice balanced slide. Now I put a star here and I put a star here. They're at the exact same height. They're the exact same width apart. And it looks nice. So if you want to do that a little bit, you can add some shapes to this, make it kind of look a little nicer. You can put some polka dots on it if you want to. Whatever it is that you want to do, like I said, just don't go so crazy that you're overwhelming and then you lose your information that's there. Okay, so that's the first objective. That was adding some shapes to kind of make our slides a little more unique, a little more customized. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to add some pictures to our fact and our title slide. Okay, and this is pretty easy. This is exactly how we did our shapes here. We said insert, but this time I'm going to say image. Okay, I'm going to say insert image. And then what's cool is I'm going to take this right over here. I'm going to say search. And I can actually search straight from Google Slides, which is nice. And what's really awesome about this is take a look at this. It says results shown are labeled for commercial reuse with modification, which means that the person that uploaded that photo has allowed anybody in the world to use their pictures without having to like credit them or anything. So basically what it is we're not stealing images. We're taking images that are completely okay to be shared, and we can actually modify them, which also means to change, which we probably won't do for this, but there's some other times when you might get like some sort of a design that you could insert that you might want to change the color scheme around. So I'm doing magnets, and I'm doing this on my title slide, so I'm just going to do a search for magnets. I'm going to see what comes up. I've got some pictures of magnets here, which is kind of cool. Oh, I like that. Look at that. It's kind of a cool, they got those like magnetic balls, and they're all in the shape of a cube. Looks kind of cool. I'm going to click that one, and I'm going to say select. And what it's going to do is it's going to throw that picture right in here. But I've got a problem, right? Do you see the problem? You can't see anything else. So what's happened is it puts that picture on top of everything else. And so I don't want it to be on top of everything else. I want it to actually be behind everything else. So I'm going to right click on my picture. I'm going to go to order, and I'm going to tell it to send it to the back. And it's going to send this to the back, and it actually brings my words up here. Okay. Now, looks okay, but my problem is, look at this. My words now are getting lost, aren't they? So this is something that you might find. If you put a picture in there, and if you're going to put the picture behind words, you may have to change the color of your words. So I'm going to make mine white and see if white stands out a little bit better. It's okay, but I might actually go with this color here. Gosh, it still just doesn't look very good, does it? So I might have to do something completely different. I really don't want to go with like a different color altogether. But let's see here. So I'm going to go back to black. And here's what I'm going to do with my picture here. I'm going to take my picture, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it smaller. This is not a good picture, I don't think, to leave words in front of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move my stuff here like this. Look at that. That's much better. So I've got a picture of magnets. I've got my title here, magnets, that I can read easily. And I've got my subtitle down here as well. So you're going to have to kind of play around with the picture. Some pictures look good behind words. This picture didn't. These colors here just made it so that I lost my words. I couldn't read them very easily. So you kind of have to decide as you're putting pictures in. Does it look good behind words? Does it not look good behind words? That's kind of be your decision as your slide creator. Okay? You're going to do the same thing for these. So what I want is I want a picture on the title slide. I want pictures on the fact slide. So each one of these facts, remember how I told you we've got this big empty blank space down here? We're going to fill that with a picture, okay? So like for here instance, this is totally not a fact that makes any sense at all, but magnets and metal go together like peas and carrots. So I could put an image, and since I'm talking about peas and carrots, what am I going to do an image on? I'm going to do peas and carrots. So what you want to do is you want to, I absolutely hate peas and carrots, by the way, but you want to add a picture that matches what you're talking about. So since I was talking about peas and carrots, I'm going to do a picture about peas and carrots. I'm going to resize this down a little bit smaller, and I might even center this one this time, just like that. There we go. That doesn't look too bad at all, other than it's peas and carrots, which I, again, don't like. So is that going to make sense? So what you need to do is find a picture that goes with the information you're talking about on your slide. So here I'm talking about metal and talked about how it's cold and it can also be gray. So I'd probably do a picture, or look for a picture on metal. And here I would talk to you about magnets. I again would put something in about magnets. Okay? So easy enough. Again, I want 4 pictures, one on the title and then one on each of your fact slides. Okay? Last thing we're going to talk about is adding transitions between the slides, which is really kind of cool. So when we're here, we have what's called a transition. Okay? Now if I click on something, if I'm clicking on a word or a box or something like that, that little menu went away. Make sure you're not clicked on anything in there. And then this is when you're going to come up with transitions, okay? So what you can do then is check out these little things. Here, there's just no transition so far, but there's a whole bunch of different transitions. So I could say fade, okay? Let's play it. So this is what would happen. When you click, your slide fades in there. Okay, pretty simple. I can make it fade slower, whatever. I can make it slide in. So if I hit play, when I click the slide, see how my slide slides in from the left just like it did. I'm going to stop this. I can make it slide a little slower if I want to. So it slides in a little slower, more dramatic, or however I want to do it. Now, you also have a button here. When you do find the slide transition you want, you can just click apply to all slides. And when I do that, now all of my slides will have that same transition. And so now I should be finished and I am ready to go. Of course, if I need to have pictures on these too, but we're going to pretend I did. When I hit present, and this is what you'll do when you present with your classmates, you'll see just this big slide. And then every time you click, that new slide will slide on in from the left, just like you told it to. And so you could talk about each slide, and as you're done talking about the slide, you click and it slides to the left. There's my yucky peas and carrots slide. And then here's my review slide, which is a perfect segue into what I'm going to say now, because this is what we did in our video today. We added shapes to our slides. We added pictures to our slides. And the cool thing was that those pictures are easily used by us, and we don't have to worry about having copyright issues, because those pictures that we added are completely okay for us to use. We also put in transitions for each of the slides, so our slideshow will look a little bit more professional, a little bit more complete and finished. So with that, go ahead and do the things I showed you if you weren't already kind of pausing and working along with the video as it was. And after you're completely finished and you have all of these Thrive objectives accomplished, please let present Mr. Meyer know so he can come over and check your work and give you a grade as you have it done. So good luck, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
Step 13, enjoy popular music.
Jump the charts again, it's Everything is Awesome.
Oh my gosh, I love this song.
Everything is awesome.